Casey, my girl, could you have at least apologized? Could you have at least apologized before you left? Oh my gosh, what an episode. Episode 9 of Silent Witch. What a gut punch of an episode. Very, very sad, the entire episode. But at the same time, my gosh, Monica, I love it. I love what they did in this beginning segment because they could have easily swept us on the rug. They could have pulled some BS, but they really didn't. Yes, Monica does sort of emotionally appeal to Luis. She does try to use her brain for a bit there, and I thought that was very clever. She does appeal to Luis, and Casey, in the end, gets out of jail free card. But at the same time, how they kind of play out Casey's response to Monica and her emotions is a massive growth point for Monica. You can say that she's a crybaby, all this kind of stuff. She's obviously going to be emotional about this. She's gotten a connection to Casey, and she's been betrayed. But because Monica walks forward, because she keeps stepping forward, there's so much strength here. There's so much growth in Monica's character in this episode. She could have easily put herself at distance to everybody, but she didn't. And I think that's commendable. My gosh, I was cheering for my girl this episode. Such a good episode. But let's get into it. Episode 9 of Silent Witch opening up with, yes, Luis being a little bit upset that his barrier's been messed with. I like going through each of the segments, but the Witch of Thorns trap was there. Yeah, I used a Spirit King, but I used a dummy formula. Yeah, I figured that with it took me like nearly a minute. Only a minute? It took him like a month to put it together. He's like, damn it. Every time my stuff is messed with, I'm coming to you first. But yes, they address the elephant in the room, which is, yes, who is this girl? Yeah, it's Casey, the foolish one who tried to assassinate the prince, your enemy. And yes, very quickly, Monica goes to try to save her. And yes, the assumed thing here is Luis is saying, yeah, we're going to take her. We're going to probably use mind manipulation on her if she doesn't confess. If she doesn't wake up, that's probably best. And they've already mentioned before, if I remember correctly, that mind manipulation itself is very dangerous. I think they mentioned that was very dangerous. But either way, if she doesn't wake up, it's probably best because she's probably going to be executed. She doesn't have to suffer. This is what should be happening to these individuals. Like I said before, with Felix and the people that were trying to take him out, oh, let's just send him out sick leave. No, this is what typically happens. This is what's going to typically happen. So yes, this is the one that we have Monica start her negotiation with. Like I said before, at first I thought that she was going to be completely emotional. She does look emotional, but it was very surprising to see that Monica quickly shifts into, again, using her brain. She puts aside the situation and she uses her brain, not being personal about it. And she does bring up a very good point. This location is tied to the first prince. If it's tied to the first prince, then they're going to see it as possibly an attack on the first prince. You're a part of his party, right? Which is interesting to have Luis note here, and this is going to be very important for later, I think. Two very important things here. Luis doesn't care about the first prince. He's like, yeah, I call myself a supporter, but it's because I just know him for a long time. The only real reason why he does fully trust and want to support the first prince is Duke Clockford. Nobody likes this dude. He's for sure going to be an enemy at some point. There's for sure going to be at some point. I said this before. I'm going to say it again now. It's cemented. There's going to be a time where Duke Clockford is the bad guy, and we're just going to take him out, and everybody's going to be happy. But everybody hates Duke Clockford. It's going to be my title for this video. Everybody hates Duke Clockford. But yes, he just doesn't like him. And he doesn't like the second prince either. And I'm kind of curious why. Why the second prince? That's the more curious question mark there. What did the second prince do to Lise? I'm assuming he doesn't like the second prince because the second prince is a puppet, and thus an extension of Duke Clockford. I'm going to assume that's probably why he doesn't like him. Just like with Casey. Casey doesn't like the second prince. Why? Duke Clockford. He's being used by Duke Clockford. He's a tool. He's a nothing. That kind of thing. I don't know. I'd be curious if it actually is something specific that Lise doesn't like him for, or if it's just strictly his ties right there. Other interesting thing is to note that apparently the first prince and the mother of the first prince doesn't even care about the throne. They don't even care. Yeah, if they get it or they don't, it doesn't matter. And thus they would not actually get an assassin. So it does imply here that even though, again, Luis does support the first prince, even though, the second prince is seemingly going to go after the throne, any party that would be going after the second prince would have to be somebody that, yes, doesn't like Duke Clockford, but also possibly somebody that would be going out of the wishes of the first prince and doing their own thing. It all comes down to the idea that people just don't like Duke Clockford. In the end, everything is around that. It has nothing to do with who likes who. Very interesting there. Very interesting there. But yeah, that idea there would be, of course, expected. But in the end, it kind of turns into this thing where Luis is like, yeah, we'll just get rid of her in silence. Because the first prince and the queen isn't even after this throne, that wouldn't really measure up to much. So they'll just get gotten rid of in silence. So this turns to Monica going emotional. This is where she's failed to appeal with knowledge. Now she's going to go emotional. Can we just act like this didn't happen? Can we just keep this a secret? This is appealing to Luis personally. And I like that he actually accepts it. In the end, I think he's a little frustrated with her, but I think he does want to support Monica in the end. In the end, yes, he does kind of push back at her and say, look, you're here as one of the 7 sages. You need to stop acting like Monica of, this school, Monica Norton. Stop acting like the schoolgirl and acknowledge that you're here as Monica Everett, one of the 7 sages. Don't get tied to these people, basically. Which, girl, I'm happy that it seems like she's not listening to that. I'm sure it's probably going to pop in her head at some point in the future, but I do like to see that she is letting this get to her. Because what's important about here is that she used to be the 7th sage who was locked up and quiet, a silent witch. Now she's going to school and she's becoming Monica Norton, and this is great for her because she hasn't experienced social interactions. She hasn't experienced friendships. She hasn't experienced all this stuff. This is an added bonus to this whole scenario. That's literally what I've seen so far is really the bread and butter of this story, is somebody who never got a chance to connect to people, finally getting that chance, finally learn about these things while trying to protect this stupid prince that I don't like anymore. This episode made me not like him even more. We'll get to that in a minute, though. But yes, I really do like this whole segment. Again, her trying to appeal to knowledge, but then emotion. And he goes with it. You're too easily slayed. You're one of the 7 sages. No, this is only a temporary disguise. I'll take care of her. If she confesses, I won't resort to manipulation, and then I'll send her to a convent. That way she doesn't set foot in society again. So again, it's really just kind of going the route of, let's just keep it a secret. We'll get information from her, then we'll just throw her off to the side. Which, yes, goes to this scene again with Monica and Casey. So much to talk about here. Yes, her saying once again that she won't apologize to Monica. Monica, in the meantime, is over there just crying up a storm. She's so emotional. She's just crying. Oh, my girl. Oh, just give her a hug. Casey just so you know, this is not actually me trying to comfort you. Hug. I don't really like you. Hug. Something like that. But anyways, yes, Casey's saying you shouldn't cry to your enemy, but you're too kind-hearted as one of the 7 sages. Hate me properly. Or if you can't do that, at least forget about me. And then Monica says, I can't. I struggle over this because it feels like she's purposely trying to push back Monica. Because right after this, she says, hurry and take me. They go to fly away. She says, I don't intend to apologize, but I'm sorry I didn't take you horse riding or teach you embroidery. Goodbye, Monica. I read this so many different directions. In the end, I expect that Casey is not going to apologize for what she did. Truthfully, let's pin that right there. This has been acknowledged right here. Casey should not apologize for what she's doing. Again, Casey is from a kingdom that has been left out and dry, and the only people that have saved them is this other kingdom. That other kingdom is in threat by Duke Clockford, and thus she trained, goes to this academy undercover to come kill the second prince, all for the sake of her homeland and the one that's supporting their homeland. Let's put that out there. This girl came here for a purpose. She established a long time ago that she was going to do this. There's no reason why she would apologize for what she did. Yes, there's a side of me that wants her to apologize for deceiving Monica, but I think that side of her, which I can almost pin, that side of her doesn't want to apologize to Monica because possibly she doesn't want Monica to get hung up on her. This might be an aspect of allowing Monica to let her go, as a kindness to Monica to let me go. Hate me and let me walk away. That way you're not hurt by me walking away. That kind of thing. But I think in the end, what it turns into being is that she's not going to apologize for what she did as an enemy. Because again, this is something that she feels passionate about. Duke Clockford is her enemy. This is war. This is political war. She's not going to apologize for trying to take out the prince and Duke Clockford because it's for the betterment of their people, the survival of their people. She has no reason that she's going to apologize for that. Again, she established a long time ago. The horse riding and teaching embroidery, that is Casey saying, I'm sorry as Casey. I'm sorry as a friend. I'm not sorry as a political enemy. I'm never going to apologize for that. wouldn't make sense. But I'll apologize as a friend. I'm sorry I couldn't do these fun things that I promised to you as a friend. Everything else I did with you was me acting a role. The tea, hanging out with you, getting chummy with you, all that stuff. That was me as a political weapon. But the horse riding and the embroidery was something that I was personally going to do with you as a friend. Casey the friend. And I apologize for that. I think in the end, she does apologize as a friend. And I think Monica picks up on that. Because that's what drives her to want to actually do the writing. In the end, she still wants to do the thing with that Casey and that we're going to do together. So it's like one of those things where like, just apologize completely, let my Monica be happy, but at the same time, I think it technically does. I think in the end, she technically does. That was that last minute thing there. And again, I think this is so good. The way this was handled is so good for Monica's character. Because it's not clear cut. I'm so sorry, let's be friends forever. Let's meet again someday, Monica. Oh my gosh, big hugs. One day we'll come back and have embroidery and writing together. It's giving Monica her first big betrayal in a way. There's a lot of betrayal in here. It's the first time she's ever had somebody really throw dirt right back in her face and betray her. Use her. All that stuff. So that she can grow as a character. And a lot of people can experience something like this and be completely shut away. This can make somebody very insecure about friendships and trust. But Monica doesn't. The rest of this episode shows this girl is getting so strong, and I love it. I was really surprised that she didn't lock herself up, honestly. Such a good scene. It's such a good scene. But yeah, we have them get taken off, and we have a little scene with Luis. You gotta learn to control your emotions better. I'm not good at it. Again, she's always shut up in her little room. Like she never has much experience with people. He's got to fix the barrier. It's going to take him a long time. Again, very, very good scene. But yes, right then we have Felix show up with Wildy Anu. I think it is. Anyways, the little lizard. But yes, he detected that a spirit king was summoned. They show up there. They end up finding Luis, and he's trying to find something to blame the barrier being messed up on. Maybe it was wear and tear. Nope, it's because she's so OP. But yes, he just, for some reason, because anime logic, Luis just blurts out loud in the middle of nowhere by himself, blurts out that this... I thought that for sure Luis was doing this on purpose, that he was blurting this out on purpose. If it's anime logic that he's just talking out loud, I hate this stuff so much. But anyways, he overhears Luis talk about the Silent Witch taking out the Spiral Flame and summoning a Spirit King, and then he just goes, Doki Doki. The Silent Witch has been here the whole time. That beautiful magecraft, I wanted to see it up close. Oh, blushy, hot and bothered, and puff and grab at his chest. I'm sorry, this scene made me dislike Felix even more. Like, I'm sure the writer's going to do something, because the writer's done very well with all the characters. I'm assuming that eventually they'll do something really good with Felix's character, but my like for Felix kind of came down a couple notches. It's like, oh, really? Is he the character that's like super obsessed with Monica and Doki Doki, and that's the only thing he cares about? And the only reason that he's doing all that he's doing is because he's trying to do something for Monica or get close to Monica? I don't know. But I have one question mark. So we see that at the point where Monica saved Isabel's land, that he was there and spotted Monica destroying all the drakes. And my question is why is he there? Why was he there, question mark? He could have been dispatched there with the other knights to take out the drakes, and thus, again, her being there saved his life, and thus he's all Doki Doki for her. Maybe he's seen that she went up there and he rushed over there on his horse to go see her in action or something like that. Why was he specifically there is my massive question mark. And it looked like he was actually undercover because he was cloaked. He had a little hoodie and everything like that. He wasn't like in armor or whatever, ready to fight in a battle. It looks like he was scoping the place out, or he was there for some other reason. And I kind of wonder if there could have been an element that somebody knew that the prince was going there at that time and, got the Terra Drakes, or what the hell they're called. I just want to call them Drakes. Got the Drakes all worked up, and they came and attacked the town in order to take out Felix. And he just happened to be there, and thus, she ended up saving his life. But I really do kind of wonder why he was there. I really do kind of wonder why he was there, why he happened to be there. But yes, he's all doki doki. The one that he's been trying to seek out for so long is there, saving his life. To think that she was this close, Lady Everett, something I am truly passionate about. What? I can definitely see that there's an element there, because he mentioned before that he's not good with magic. And I think we kind of suspect the idea of maybe just mana problems, something like that. Can't really figure out the formulas. So this could have been one of those things where he aspired to be just like the Silent Witch, but he didn't have an aptitude for magic. And that could be that whole idea of something I'm passionate about. Her magecraft is so beautiful, he wanted that, basically. And then it just turned into an obsession for her. But either way, it's stupid. These little doki doki moments, so stupid. Anyways, moving on from there, we jump forward 3 days. We see that Isabel got sick. She needs her regular dosage of Monica, and she's super mad. But then we cut over to Lana and Monica. Monica obviously upset about this whole situation, and Lana trying to cheer her up. She sees that Monica's down. Casey hasn't been here, had to go home, trying to cheer her up, trying to keep her mind off the situation. I think Lana's really purposely bringing up things in order to get her mind off of it. What are you going to do for the festival? What your dress is? Oh, come borrow one of my dresses. No, I don't want to do that. You're always helping me. I can't do anything in return. Poke. Girl, I'm not doing it because I want something in return. Not doing it 'cause... Didn't they have this conversation before? I feel like Lana and Monica had this conversation before. Girl, I'm doing it because we're friends. Friends don't need something in return. Come on. It was cute. Which does end up applying to the next scene, which is her doing a horse riding. Again, despite what happened with Casey, she wants to learn how to ride. She wants to, hopefully one day when she sees Casey again, she wants to show Casey, look, I did it. You're going to show it to me. Don't worry. I did it. I pulled it off. Let's go horse riding together. That's really what it feels like she wants to do there. She wants to do this. Again, not allowing this setback to really kind of hamper her. I love it. But yeah, then the prince shows up. She doesn't say Danka. She says Danka. She's like, oh, that's better than I love it. But yes, he helps her out with horseback riding. Seemed like he's applying a lot of what she learned with the dancing to the situation, seeing the kind of similarities there. He asks her why she chose chess and riding, wants to do it for a friend. It's good to have a goal. One day you could tell that friend proudly. A cute little scene. It kind of brought the prince up a little bit for me after kind of coming down a little bit. But I like what she thinks about right here. Since coming to school, so many friends have helped me. What can I do in return for those people? You literally saved them from all of them dying. Let's be honest. Just the other day, you literally saved everybody from dying. I think you're pretty even at that point. That's when she recalls Lana's words. Don't need a reason to be kind to your friends. Don't need it. I wonder if someday I could become strong enough to say that to someone. Be able to do something for somebody else and tell them, look, you don't have to pay me back. It's because we're friends. Again, so much growth. So much growth in Monica's character this episode. I love it. And it's so funny because I feel like she's going to have a bigger downfall at some point. Because it feels like this episode should be, but I think there's going to be something bigger. Because again, she's being strong. She's being very strong right now. Then we have the scene with Monica and Elliot, which Elliot being the only character I feel I dislike as much as Felix. He's just so full of himself. The nobles are better than everybody kind of mentality. But no, him apologizing for the whole situation of him taking advantage of her, not knowing about castling, and yeah, her not really minding it because a friend would have told me you're a fool for sitting down and playing a game without knowing all the rules. That sounds very harsh, but it's true. It's true. But no, he says I was very shameful of me. She says, sorry, I can't think of a reason to be mad, and smiles. Oh my God, that smile, dude. That smile. Ugh. Oh, girl, you're... Doki. It's like the whole meme with the guy grabbing his chest from another and just falling over and collapsing. It's too pure. But no, her just simply saying, no, if I can learn about chess, that's all I care about. I'm fine. Yeah, it's cool. But then we see him recall something about Felix. Which is interesting because when it cuts back to a little flashback, we have Felix and he's on a horseback and he's got somebody, guiding him. I immediately thought it was going to be the first prince. But no, Elliot says that the servant carries themselves with more dignity than his highness. So it's not this first prince. It's legit just a servant because they look exactly the same. I mean, do you blame me? The servant looks exactly like Felix. So I would assume that it's going to be the first prince. Did they keep the first prince undercover by the fact that he was a servant or something like that? It's weird. Anyways, that aside, Really kind of showing here about how Elliot used to really hate Felix, that Felix was a failure, which we got an indication from. From Felix's perspective, it keeps implying the idea that when he was younger, and even now, he's seen as somebody that is ill-equipped, somebody that's useless, can't pull anything off. There's a lot indicated that he's always been a failure, and it seems like Elliot's seen that too. He's a failure, can't pull off dancing, studying, all this kind of stuff, just useless. And it seemed like it turned into him really teasing him a lot. And yes, playing tricks on him to the point where he falls off a tree and nearly dies. But Felix covered for him, said it was his own fault. And again, I can see Felix not doing that as a friend. Like, oh no, Elliot's fine. I like you as a friend, so I didn't want you to get killed or anything for doing that. Felix, I think right here is covering for Elliot because of his own failures. Again, this is a person that is seen by everybody as a failure. Even Elliot sees him as a failure. He doesn't want Elliot to be hampered by that. I failed to climb the tree. I wasn't skilled enough. I got hurt because I'm a failure. And I think that probably turns into Elliot probably supporting Felix a lot in order to grow more and more, along with like Cyril and stuff like that. Again, it was an interesting look into their past, but the whole point here was to connect. Oh, that's why Felix does that. Similar to me, when I see now he was kind of a failure in trying things, I wanted to help him out. See the same thing there. But additionally, the statement that was made, sorry, I can't think of a reason to be mad. She's just like you. That's why you keep getting involved with her. You're both very, very similar. And again, we had that case before with Felix. He's seen in Monica when she said something that was just the same as him. I said that same thing. And that's when we wrap up the episode with the scene with Cyril. God damn, this scene hurts so much. This scene hurts so much that yes, apparently Cyril has been blamed for the incident with Casey. And because Monica can't say what happened to protect Casey, Cyril has to take the blame. In the end, Cyril, who did nothing wrong, and despite there being a lot of emphasis on the idea that Cyril wants to be, perfect and handle things with honor and pride and not make mistakes, this is something that is going to reflect negatively on him. There's an impact here that an incident happened, he messed up, and it's going to impact his record. And Monica can't say anything. And she's crying and apologizing. It sucks. I wish I could say something. I'm sorry, Cyril. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It hurts. It hurts so much that she has the ability to clear his record, but she can't. And I think why it's so important is because, again, Cyril was adopted into that family that he's in, the noble family that he's in. Additionally, he's at Felix's side, the second prince. There's so much emphasis here on somebody like him having to have sort of a perfect record. Making mistakes around Felix could lead to his death. And yet here, Monica knows the answer. He did nothing wrong. It sucks. Her crying there. Oh my gosh. It also sucks a lot, the fact that the entire time she's literally saying, I wish I did this. If only I did this. If only I did this. If only I did this. If I had just, stopped her about the tea, maybe she wouldn't have done this. Now, it's illogical. I don't think that Casey could be like, oh crap, assassination plot ruined. She figured out about the tea. But that's something that's going to run through Monica's mind. If only I did this, Cyril wouldn't be dealing with this shame. And yes, she's already contemplated this kind of element of Cyril's honor. Again, the whole situation with Caroline. When Caroline said, oh, just say that, it was all an accident. No, Cyril went to bat for me. If I do anything opposite to that, he's going to look bad. Again, his status and his clean record is something that's important to Monica because she assumes that's important for him. And then I'm having to call Claudia in there to take her to the dorm. I'm not some do-it-all maid or something like that. Please, can you do it for me? And Neil just totally plays to her heartstrings. Of course, we're friends. We're bestest of friends. Of course I'll do that for you. It was so dorky. But how's Claudia going to get her up into that attic? She's probably just going to take her back to her place. Anyways, it wraps up the episode with the Starseer Witch. Out of nowhere, at the very end, after credits, we see the Starseer Witch out of nowhere. Finally get to see our first witch besides Luis. I mean, we've heard about the Witch of Thorns and whatnot, but it's the first time actually visually seeing them. Mary Harvey, they say no matter how many times, it's no good. Why can't I see? Felix Arc Riddle. What on earth is about to happen? I mean, the assumption here as a Starseer Witch, her power is going to have something to do with seeing the stars and probably seeing somebody's future. And the fact that she can't see it no matter how many times she looks implies that she can't see what's going to happen to him in his future, that there's some sort of unknown catastrophe that might be happening. I'm kind of curious why she can't see it. What's causing some sort of disturbance? The assumption is that because so many cards are trying to come after Felix right now, and because Monica is there as sort of a disturbance for that, it's making it very hard for her to see what's going on. It's just the bigger question mark for me is, why bring this up? I just feel like the writer would be doing this purposely for a reason of bringing this up. Why is that? And I can't really say for sure. I think it's probably going to turn to an idea that she's going to show up in order to look into why she can't see Felix's future. And she's going to end up meeting Monica, and then we can have kind of introduction to the Starseer at that point, and possibly have her foresee something that will be important. Or possibly get rid of that disturbance, that way she can see it. But anyways, again, like I said earlier, I talk way too much, and I apologize for anybody that don't like the long videos, but man, I hated this episode. I love this stuff. I absolutely love what they've done with Monica's character. Again, having her first real struggle with a friend, and feeling... I don't think in the end that Monica feels betrayed, but there is a sense here that she could have easily. Monica could have easily seen a betrayal and locked herself up and closed herself off from Lana and everybody else. And it's great to see that's not what she did. Again, this is a sign of somebody that has grown a lot over these course of these 9 episodes technically, but this time that she's been at school. Because again, if you had her from that episode 1 point, walk out there, meet Casey, and then Casey does this, cut off everybody. Cut off everybody. I don't want to experience that again. Wronged me, that kind of stuff. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Anyways, that's my thoughts on episode 9 of Silent Witch. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below. If you like this content and want to support the channel more, become a member of the channel. Until next time, y'all take care.